With spoiler season in full effect for Dominaria United, player reactions to the sets, as well as their buying habits, are being affected in unexpected ways. You should never underestimate nostalgia. That's what I've learned from this experience. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks a lot for hanging out with me on the channel today. This is Vacation Mode MTG Moxman, and yes, in case you've noticed, Mini Mox has given me a gift, the gift of the common cold. And you guys don't have to be with me here all day, but you're going to have to hear it right now in my voice for the next 10 minutes or so. So bear with me. Consider it an added bonus, a style to know that yes, even the invincible Moxman does tend to get sick once in a while, although colds don't affect me the same way they do other people. So let's get this party started, shall we? Guys, I should have seen this coming. I really should have. And part of me, the safe part, always bought a few of these and put a few things aside. But with a new set like Dominaria United coming up, when it hit the books and everyone's like, oh, Dominaria United, what most players forgot to realize is when you're going back to a plane like Dominaria, and you should have thought back to 2018, the player reactions to the cards like that, like a new Mox Amber, right? When Mox Amber was new at the time, that's a Mox, okay? And it's based on the other Moxes, right? It's not as good, but it's based on those. It has that taste of a Mox. So when we had Dominaria United being announced, for those of you who buy reserve list cards, and I've mentioned a lot of these cards on the channel multiple times over the last year. Come on. You should have known that chances are some person at R&D and Wizard of the Coast was going to get a little bit nostalgic, a little bit funny, and saying, you know what we can do? You know what we can do? We can do this and X and Y, and we can have this happen, and then it'll throw the market into a tizzy later on. For those of you who have no clue what I'm talking about, we're going to get there. Stick with me. So when a new set comes out, and here we got Dominaria United. We're looking at, the new beautiful Karn, the living weapon. We got the Apocalypse version of the Praetor. Look at that. They're beautiful, right? And everyone gets caught saying, oh, she's going to be the chase card, man. She is the one that's going to get things done, man. And Karn, come on, making artifact tokens that I can tap for mana to cast artifact spells. Very kind of cool. Looking at the top cards of your library, which I kind of called in a previous video. Interesting stuff, okay? No problem with either of these cards. They're great. But that's not where a lot of the action is happening. The pre-sales on those will be fine. They'll be fairly well received. Players will like it. But you know what? Crazy stuff happens. When you take a look at the card I'm showing you right now, this is Xerium, the Golden Wind, okay? Like it's a Griffin. Okay, now we've had Griffins in the past from various sets and various worlds. What makes this one interesting is when it attacks, when a Griffin attacks, you get to put another 2/2 Griffin into play. You have to understand, that's a bit of a different game mechanic people haven't seen for a while. They get kind of caught up, kind of excited, and they start looking back, especially reserve list shoppers or nostalgic players who go, you know, there used to be some cards on the reserve list. There used to be a few of the cards like this that kind of triggered effects like this and could help with Griffins, but we never got like Griffin tribal support. And I've talked about this numerous times on the channel. You never know when Wizards of the Coast is going to break rank and create some amazing card, which is why I'm always on Thrall Champion, because it does really unique game effects far superior to the cards I'm showing you today. When we take a look at the next card, which is what's been happening, here we have Zubri, okay? Now, when you look at the Golden Feather here, as soon as Xerium was announced, the Golden Feather here sold 246 copies in 38 minutes. 246 copies, 38 minutes. I was on it right away. Now, I already have a couple of playsets. I've been buying cards like this all year long for the channel. I've been buying little odds and ends here when this card was a couple of bucks. So I am not out anything. I've been a smart shopper the whole year and been picking up little odds and ends all the time. But for those who are trying to get in on this card, now the only ones left on things like TCG Player are costing you a fortune because the shipping costs that they've attached them. People are jumping up their prices. Interesting stuff. But that's not the only card affected. People are looking for any cards that can help a Griffin. And they're looking specifically on the reserve list card. And I don't mean just people who want them. There'll be flippers and investors trying to get in on this, and that would be Griffin Canyon. Look, the thing taps for colorless mana instantly, and it can untap a Griffin and give it +1/+1, definitely making your opponents think before they do something. Just a free +1/+1 by tapping it and untapping the Griffin, that's kind of crazy, guys. It's a very good game effect. It's an amazing card, but there were no Griffins to go along with it. But now, with the new card, right? This is getting kind of good, right? We're adding things in. There's more Griffin tribal support. And no, it's not like there's 10 different Griffins to add in. But the reserve list ones will be the hard ones to get. They're the ones you have to corner the market on and have a couple of copies around because you can't get any of the new ones. The new ones will be simple to get. They'll just be in a store. You don't have to worry about grabbing those. It's the old ones that'll be difficult, right? The Griffin Canyon, the Golden Feather. Those are finite amounts. Only so many people in the world can use those cards in a deck because there's only so many made. Interesting times, and the market reactions are fascinating to me. Do you know Griffin Canyon sold 193 copies in 46 minutes? 46 minutes, 193 copies. And that does not include anything after that because I stopped counting. I got information from my stores. They all sold out. I looked on TCG Player. I looked on things like eBay. Gone, and gone again and again. Think about that. Sure, you've got Karn, the Living Weapon. You got the Apocalypse version of the Praetor, Sheobold, right? I get it. But these cards, when you actually start looking at the values, when Zubri the Golden Feather, I got, a little side sheet here. When Zubri the Golden Feather sold those 246 copies, that was $1,200 US, which is not a lot of money, in 38 minutes on that one card. That's what people shelled out, okay? Griffin Canyon, that was $1,600. That's pretty crazy, right? But guess what? That's the market reaction to a new card like that coming out. The unexpected that you didn't see coming. People who collect the reserve list expect this stuff all the time when a new set comes up. Now think ahead. Think of the Brothers War. For all those people who've been buying odds and end reserve list cards from the Brothers War, what do you think is happening there? Why do you think they're buying it slowly? They're buying it slowly so it doesn't affect the secondary market right away. They're cornering positions in case a card becomes popular in the Brothers War. We're not done yet. Another card that was released, and yes, you guys know I had super excitement when this card came out. I agree. I was like dying to show this card to you, and that is Rogoth. Now, the Kobold Overlord. Guys, I was super psyched. You guys know I'm working on my Throw Bowl deck. I know some of you guys want to see like a deck construction breakdown of what I've done with it. I will give that to you. Those aren't very popular videos, but I'll probably put something together for you guys and put it out in the next week or so. But the Overlord here is a very good card. Giving all kobolds +2/+2. Whenever you cast a kobold, you get a dragon spell. So think about the game effects that's going to have on the secondary market. Think about the unintended consequences, which, by the way, Wizards knows what's going to happen. Whoever invented this card on the R&D side said, I love kobolds so much. I want kobolds to have more support, and I think it's going to be great. And it is. And this is what happens when you do that. Okay? This is what happens when some R&D person gets their nose involved. Here is Kobold Overlord. Now, the Kobold Overlord here, I put it down here. He sold 55 copies in roughly less than a day at around $69 a copy. You're talking $4,000 US on this one card in the matter of a day, okay? But that's not the worst one. That's the funny thing. This isn't the worst one. He's great. The Overlord's amazing. Gives you guys first strike. Very cool. When you start getting to the other guys, here's Rogoth of Kobold. I told you guys I got mine for $80 US near mint about 4 months ago. As soon as they gave us that Kobold Overlord, this bad boy sold, sorry here guys, 67 copies in 2 days at an average price of $150 a copy. That's $10,500 US is the accumulated sales. And I couldn't get all my store's information back, so I didn't count all the rest of them up. But that's just from things like TCG Players, some eBay sales, and a few private sales I know of. $10,500 US on Rogoth when he used to be half that price. People saw it coming as soon as the card went, and they jacked their prices back up. Rogoth is still selling because people now have that nostalgia and want to build a Kobold deck. Which leaves you with the last one, which is, of course, Kobolds. When you think of a Kobold, think Happy Times. This is a Kobold of Kobold. This is a 0-1. Used to be like $1.26 US. Now it's around $5 US. This thing still sold $900 worth. Okay? That is 249 Kobolds in 1 day. The average copy of most of these sales, like Rogoth, was like 1 sale a month. The Kobolds, 3 or 4 sales a month. Overlord, less than 3 sales a month. They all had bottom basement sales. The Griffin Canyon was like 5 or 6 sales a month. Zubri was like 1 or 2 sales. Guys, this really lets you know the unexpected and unintended consequences that most of the people don't see coming when cards like this get printed. It all started with a Kobold new Lord guy of Kobold, which is his son. Awesome. So psyched for that card. And all those cards jack up in price. And they're probably going to stay there for quite a while because anyone who wants to build a Kobold deck has got to buy those. They want to have them in their deck. and they're going to pay a pretty penny now because that tribal card will be that harder to get. You get +2/+2 from the good old Kirkeep New Lord, but you want Rogoth, his dad, because you want another +2/+2. That means your kobolds are getting +4/+4, which is interesting stuff to see happen. And it's all because some people at the R&D department said, I like kobolds. I like griffins. We don't have enough griffins out there. Let's add a few tinkering griffins in there. It only took 1 or 2 cards to be printed to break everything. Now think about the sets coming up next year. The ones with Phyrexia and all those ones dealing now with what's going on. Think about the sets that they're going to affect going forward. And you can preemptively buy some cards, get a couple cards you may want it and nobody else sees coming. I'll be combing the reserve list, going through cards I think could be printed. And if they're cheap, I'm picking up a few extra play sets because people on my channel deserve to have those cards available at a very cheap price, and that means I can add them into my Patreon box stuff and just chill out with it. This is crazy stuff. I love it because I didn't see this quantity selling. I should have seen it as soon as the Overlord was printed, but when I started checking, it was too late. They'd already sold. Okay, the price had already adjusted. Guys, it is a fascinating time to be in Magic. The market reactions to the set are getting really super hyped up. It happens every time you touch on nostalgia, where you activate the base of players who are older school players who want to finally build some of these crazy decks. They've got the money and the means to do so, and they're going to keep doing it. So thanks a lot for hanging out with me today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Talk about these cards. Talk about what you're doing. Are you affected by this? Have you seen any cards you've started to notice? That's the stuff I'm interested in knowing. I want to share these experiences with you guys. Let's get this one going. Let's have a good time because it's an amazing time to be in Magic. Even with the cold, I'm fighting through, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, a big shout out to all the fantastic patrons on my channel. Guys, without you, videos like this, these bonus videos, any of this stuff would not be possible. Patron members are the ones who let this stuff happen. Thank you so much to all my patrons. All right, this is totally unrelated. This is the common cold. I have coworkers who get a cold, and it knocks them out entirely. Wait. Before we start all this, welcome back, you special people, to the end of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. The common cold. You can hear it in my voice. Nose is stuffed up. Yeah. But the cold never keeps me down. It never has. Yeah, you feel a little stuffy and puffy and stuff in your head. I can just go to work and do a regular day. Nothing affects me. I just keep going, okay? I have people around me who can be out for 3-4 days. They can just be knocked out. Gone with a cold. It has never bothered me that way. Never. I just blow my nose whenever it needs it, keep going, do my work, and you just don't think about it. Before you know it, your body's fought off the infection and you're going along, man. It's a common cold. Now, for those of you who wondered, yeah, Mini Mox was me when he gave it to me. Got really close with a slobbery nose and gave me lots of hugs and kisses. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I'm a sharing dad. I don't mind a little slobbery. I don't mind a little common cold. We're going to fight through this. But I find it interesting when that happens. Because I was thinking about my coworkers who get it and they're like, I just can't come into work. I'm like, really? Okay, no problem. Because everyone's different. I learned that. Everyone handles sickness and stuff differently depending on what you're getting, right? The flu and stuff, you know, when I get knocked out, I'm a big whiny baby. I like curl up in the corner, just want to be left alone. But stuff like this, I don't really consider bad. I just go through it. I'm still going to do a normal day. I'm going to do all my regular stuff and still have a good time. So, now, on to the kobolds. For my friends, and you know who you are out there, who teased me about buying all those extra sets of kobolds about 3-4 months ago, that's what you get. That is what you get. I told you I was going to buy extra kobolds. I didn't care if they were a couple of bucks each. I wanted to have extra. Yeah, who's laughing? Who's laughing now? Rogoth the Kirkeep's no good. Glad I got him for the 50-60 bucks. Oh, my Overlord for $50 near mint. Sorry, $47.50 or whatever near mint. You guys remember because I bought him on the channel? Yeah. Feels pretty good to collect reserve list cards right about now. Griffin Canyon, Zubri. Yeah. I have play sets. I'm good. I'm set. So are the guys on this channel because I'll be putting those into the Patreon box anyway. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Common cold or not, fight through it, man. Keep your day going and have a good time. This was Vacation Mode Mox, man. And my patrons sponsored this video. Thanks a lot, guys.